wait for Andrea to dance back to the seat. That's fine. Take your time. I got all night. I don't charge by the hour. Thanks again for coming out. I appreciate it. I'll try to make this short and sweet. Life is like Scrabble. At the end of the game, the only pieces left of the puzzle are you and I. Oh, I'm sorry, those are my pickup lines. I'm sorry. I still need those. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Just hold on to them. We are. Woo! Gotta hold on to those. Seriously though, there are rules to the best man's speech. Stand up, speak up, shut up. Unfortunately for all of you, I have to get down. You might have seen that earlier, but it's alright. Enough of that. There's a lot of energy in this room, so I couldn't resist that. I want to thank everyone for being here today, especially to the parents of these fine folks for having us here. Linda and the Connollys. Wonderful people. If you don't know who I am, I'll be signing autographs at this event by the Chocolate Fountain, and ladies, free kisses too. So stay tuned for that one. It's a good deal. All right, enough of that. The idea for this speech is to bring up all the fond memories of my best friend Dan, known him since high school, how he met Andrea and fell in love, when I was first able to see this love blossom, how I knew they would end up marrying each other. Unfortunately, I left that speech in my hotel room, so I kind of wrote the, the extra towels note on that, so we'll leave that one behind. If you know how Dan and I function as a team, you know that he's the storyteller. He likes to embellish a lot and make it sound like the greatest thing ever, even though it's not. He can take a seemingly boring story that happened to me and somehow make it sound like life-hangingly important, even though it's completely not. From the first time we spoke at Ellis Island when he was trying to trace his ancestry, and he claims I interrupted him in a somewhat kind of rude way by saying, hurry up already, I need to do my family name. I'm not sure if I believe that one, by the way. And possibly used an expletive, which he's never heard before since he's from the Connolly family. We all know they're very sacred people, those words aren't used. To the days in high school where I couldn't remember his name, so I called him Chris. Seemed like the easy thing to do. Chris is an easy name to remember. I didn't know any Dans before that, so Chris, first thing in my head, Chris, you're Chris. To the maybe in 10th grade, I taught him how to swear. I'm sorry, Mrs. Connolly, I didn't mean to do that. It had to happen. He needed to grow up in a nice, well-rounded life. I'm sorry. To his appearance in what seemed like every sports team photo in the high school yearbook, even though he wasn't only on one sports team. I don't know why you did that, but you got in. Congratulations on that. To the many home movies we made with no real movie scripts, let alone real actors. I mean, we're not really actors. But in between takes, Dan would always question what he just said to the camera and question if he should have mooned everybody during that scene, saying, my mom's gonna see this. Should I be doing that? Yes, you should. Because that's real life. People moon each other, all right? Again, I'm sorry, Mrs. Connolly. He's got a nice derriere. All right? He does. A little hairy, but it's good. It's on film if anyone wants to see it. $5.99. Then there's the time that we went to the nearly empty Boulevard Diner during one of our college breaks with our friend Eric. Eric and I both ordered our food first because, if you know Dan, he wants to make the right decision for his order while not being rude. So he'll point to you to order first. He'll be like, you go, And so he says to the waitress, I'll have a hot dog with mustard and onions. And the waitress says, just mustard? And Dan says, just mustard. Leave it to Dan not to try to upset the waitress by adding those extra onions onto the order. Now, to the general audience might be saying, why would you bring up a story about hot dogs and onions during the best man speech? Because Dan finds it funny for some reason. I have no idea why. I mean, he's laughing right now. I don't get it. It's not funny. But he loves it. So I tell the story to everybody. I think if you look at his reaction to what I just brought up, you can see the many years of laughter we shared together, many silly things that we enjoyed together. We've done crazy things from road trips to Montreal to, just staying at home and making these crazy home movies. It's been a barrel of laughs. But then came along the time that Dan decided to come visit me at Bryant, and he brought this new girlfriend named Andrea down to see a nice Custer concert. So I hadn't met her yet. I only heard some nice things about her. I want to make a good impression as, Dan's best friend. I got to put on my good face, since I'm obviously a horrible guy. I'm sorry. So we all had fun that weekend. The fun continued to the future, where it no longer became necessary to have Dan around because I think of Andrea as one of the most wholesome and nice people I've ever met, and that's, truly honest. It's so easy just being around her. I think you'll all agree with that. My favorite memory of Andrea is when we were at the Phantom Gourmet Food Festival last year while Dan was off at a college function in Maine. And, we're walking around, sampling the various foods, when out of the corner of my eye, I see this plastic baggie come out, like a Ziploc bag. And I was saying to myself, what is wrong with her? Maybe he chose the wrong person to be with. Who brings Ziploc bags to a buffet? So I said, why are you bagging out food? You can eat as much as you want. You're gonna be so sick of this later. And then I realized, and she pointed out to me, it's for Dan! That's my imitation of Dan's imitation of Andrea. So with that in mind, I think what we witnessed here, not only today, but in their lives together, speaks for itself. Dan, I realize that you found the only person I've ever met who makes you constantly smile when I see you together. The person who you'll make beautiful children with together, and more importantly, the person who I witnessed firsthand make you the happiest I've ever seen in your life. If you could all re-raise your glasses with me in a toast. I'd like to say, and I'll slow it down, congratulations on the termination of your isolation, and may I express an appreciation of your determination to end the desperation and frustration which has caused you so much consternation, and giving you the inspiration to make a combination to bringing accumulation to the population. Andrea, congratulations to you both. I hope you enjoy your lives together as much as I enjoy witnessing you blossom. Let's hope you have as many beautiful kids as the Celtics have championships, a true Connolly family. I love you both. Cheers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best man sensation, Mr. Peter Shulman. Give him a big round of applause. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself thus far.